Always news, always network, always power. CCNTV. Good afternoon and welcome to The Rundown. I'm your host, Captivating Christian, and here are some of your top stories for today, the 27th of September of 2022. Trump endorsed Michigan House candidate is fine with women not being able to vote. The Republican Michigan House candidate, John Gibbs, started a think tank back in 2000, endorsing repealing the 19th Amendment. Also, ByronAllen wins big in historical billion-dollar federal lawsuit against McDonald's. And lastly, relatives of Jeffrey Dahmer's victims says that the Netflix monster is retraumatizing their family. Let's get to the news. Republican Michigan House candidate John Gibbs may have beaten his primary opponent who voted for Trump's impeachment. However, CNN has reported that Gibbs started a think tank during his time at Stanford University, the Society for the Critique of Feminism. In this organization, the House candidate reportedly argued against women's rights to vote and pushed the belief that men are smarter than women because men are likely to think logically about broad and abstract ideas. Also, his website claimed that women do not have the characteristics to govern and blamed the 19th Amendment for the uncontrollable size of the government. It also is quoted to say that some may argue that in a democratic society it is hypocritical and unjust for a woman who are 50% of the population not to have the right to vote. However, Gibbs' website reads that this is obviously not true, and that since the founding fathers, who understood liberty and democracy better than anyone did, they did not believe so. In addition to all the people under the age of 18 who could not vote, although they too did compromise a significant portion of the population, so we cannot say that a woman should be able to vote simply because they are a large part of the population. The Society of the Critique of Feminism also has gone on to endorse many anti-feminist organizations. Also, this same Republican candidate for Michigan also backed the former Representative Steve King of Iowa, who had claims of white nationalism. Go figure. The media mogul had filed a lawsuit against McDonald's for discriminatory ad spending practices. Although the fast food conglomerate moved to have the suit dismissed, the ruling declared that the $10 billion case can move forward. The Allen Media Group, otherwise known as AMG, will now go on to prove in court that McDonald's violated the civil rights laws by purposely choosing not to advertise on many platforms that fall under the AMG umbrella, including the Weather Channel. The lawsuit was initially filed back in May 20th of 21 against the McDonald's Corporation and states that the entity was racially discriminating against and had a pattern of racial stereotyping and the refusal to contract in violation of the Civil Rights Act of 1866 and the California Code of 51.5. On September 16th of 2022, the defendant McDonald's was denied a motion to dismiss by a judge of the United States District Court of California. The lawsuit points out that approximately $1.6 billion in McDonald's advertising budget The corporation spends less than $5 million each year on black-owned media. The suit also claims that it has refused to advertise on Entertainment Studios Network or the Weather Channel since Allen acquired it back in 2018. This is about economic inclusion of African American owned businesses in the United States. ByronAllen, the founder and chairman and CEO of the Allen Media Group, in a news release said that McDonald's takes billions from African American consumers and gives almost nothing back. The biggest trade deficit in America is the deficit between white corporate America and black Americans. He says that McDonald's is guilty for perpetuating this disparity. The blood was in the water for Netflix Dahmer well before the series hit the streaming platform back on September 21st of 2020. The awkward title aside, Dahmer, the murder, the monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, the series would have been Netflix gold. It had the combination of the streamer's knack for a dramatic true crime storytelling with the star power of Evan Peters and Ryan Murphy. What could go wrong? But apparently, the show's critics and ratings are so far mixed, with audiences apparently being more receptive than the show's actual critics. One of the show's critics of Dahmer says that it is almost unwatchable, queasy show. Nothing that focuses on the victims or their impact. Rather, Dahmer is undoubtedly fetishized in the series, which is unfortunate. To infatuate with his star attraction, but almost the biggest critics of the show are the real-life families and members of Jeffrey Dahmer's victims, who apparently have to live through this ordeal all over again by watching the series. Following the premiere, Eric Perry, the cousin of one of Jeffrey Dahmer's victims, took to social media to discuss his distaste and disgust for the Netflix series and the creator's choice in Dahmer. Perry went on to say that further pointed out that the lack of sensitivity towards the living, many of whom are depicted in the series without their knowledge, let alone their consent. As he explains, because the information is all public record, that there is no obligation or requirement for Murphy's production team to contact those involved in the story. So his family found out when everyone else did. Once again, thank you for watching CCN Midday News. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. Also hit that notification button so you will never miss another news update. Have a great day. Peace.